What's good, YouTube? If you try and get better conversational skills and learn how to take control of goddamn conversations because you feel like people don't talk about shit, this is a video for you. And I thought of this video today. I was having like a phone meeting, and just in the middle of it, it was making me like just think about all the conversational skills that I've grown and just tapped into that ultimately just make people confess shit to me, allow me to just say whatever the fuck I want in any conversation, and goddamn just take control of the conversation for real. But so the first thing, I'll just get into it, is you need to realize when most people are talking, they're talking for themselves, bro. They're talking so they can hear themselves talk. So the less you talk in the conversation is really how you get control of the conversation on some shit. Like when people feel like control ultimately is letting somebody think they're in control, and that's how you gain control. Like that's what the government is fucking doing right now, like to everybody. And that's how you take charge of it, and it makes them think that they're leading it. But realistically, in a conversation sense, the less you talk, the more you can see what this person responds to, or where they bring the conversation towards, or what they actually are even talking for. And 9 times out of 10, unless it's like a genuine connection that you have already, they're just talking so they can hear themselves talk because they've been waiting for somebody to fucking listen to them for real. And then that's where you can kind of just analyze what their motive is and what they receive well type shit. Like some people just want to talk so you can be like, damn, that's crazy. Damn, that's crazy. And then you could just jump into a new topic that you want to, or ask for some shit, or fucking mend your way in there and just kind of take control of the conversation. So first thing for real is just realizing that most people are speaking so they can hear themselves. That's why most people even talk in general, that you just randomly just meet and shit. And like today, it was like a phone meeting interview type of thing, right? And I'm supposed to be answering questions, but I have these skills in my mind, so I'm just letting this lady just do what she does, and ultimately just led to her confessing all the shit to me about me and helping my situation into getting this client / position. And it's like that's what made me think to make this video today. So it's really just realizing that people are talking for themselves, and all those silent moments, you don't need to be the one to fill that shit up, because that's kind of where the power comes in. Because a lot of people, they can't sit in them many silences and pauses because they feel like it's like some awkward shit, and so automatically they'll just fill it up with what they already had in mind or what they wanted to hear themselves say. And as long as you just receive it well and let this person feel like they're in control of the conversation, you can just change it to whatever you want. You can interrupt whenever you want to, because their ultimate goal most of the time is just to talk about what's on their mind. And a lot of people, they just want to be heard, or there might be some shit that they can't tell people that they already talk to, because those might be their genuine connections already. But even then, not everybody has this notion or awareness to understand that the more that you let the other person talk, the more in control of the conversation you are. And I think that's really the main thing, is understanding that they're speaking because they want to, like they want to hear themselves, and you should just let them like direct the conversation. But that allows you to interject and just get what you really want across. Like let's say it is for like an interview or some shit, you know what I'm saying? Like some people just want to be asked about themselves, or like even like with the opposite gender, fucking they just want to be asked about themselves ultimately. Because I'm not gonna lie, like a big part of talking to girls is just talking about them. Like you don't need to talk about yourself to talk to a girl, because now you just sound like a dickhead. But most of the time, people just want to talk about themselves. And if you go into conversations knowing that, you're already at an advantage, because it's not supposed to be about you. You're not supposed to just boast and talk about everything you have going on. They'll naturally ask you shit they want to know. They'll naturally guide the conversation, and that's where your responses, they mean more than if you were just fucking yapping, trying to sell yourself pretty much, trying to explain why you're so good at this, like why you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of conversations that you have with people, that's what it'll sound like if you're aware of this shit. It'll sound like this person is just trying to convince you of some shit. But realistically, they just want to hear themselves. And if you both do that at the same time, then the conversation is going to go nowhere. Because why the fuck are y'all both just talking about yourselves? You know what I'm saying? When you think back to conversations you have maybe with like coworkers, the opposite gender, interviewers, fucking even adults, like people who are like older than you feel me, like elders, they just want to speak so they can fucking just hear themselves talk, bro. Like, I be saying this shit, most people want to talk so they can watch their fucking lips move. And that's the reality of it. And if you know that, you can use that to your advantage and just take control of the fucking conversation. And ultimately, you walk away knowing more about this person than they do about you. And then there's also power in that. So it's like, you feel me? Like, speaking less actually gets you further in the conversation sense, in the knowledge sense, and just understanding people and shit. Because then you could just see where their mind goes. You know what I'm saying? You could be talking about fucking, you know what I'm saying, one subject, and if you just keep responding and just being cordial and not saying what people want you to say, because that's weird, but just respond how you would respond, but don't necessarily make it about yourself. And a lot of times in conversation, people will try to be relatable too much. Like, you don't have to relate to every single fucking thing this person's saying, bro. You can disagree or switch the topic or whatnot. But I feel like that's what killed a lot of conversations, for me at least, is I can tell when this person's conversational skill is to just relate. And every human is so different, bro. There's gonna be shit you don't relate on. And that's what makes humans like so beautiful. Like, no bullshit. The fact that everybody's different. So if you're just having a conversation and everything they say, you think they don't want you to just fucking agree with every single thing they're saying. There is some people like that, but those people are like, that's just a problematic person for real. And talking to them probably not gonna get you nowhere unless you're just trying to suck dick. For me, like, be a dick sucker type shit. And this is not some shit that's only for men for real. Like, even girls, like if you're talking to a boy, if you just ask this boy about him, you know what I'm saying? It's just human to human. Just ask people about them. Like, ask them, oh, really? Why? Like, how was your day? Oh, yeah, what happened? Like, how do you feel about that shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, ultimately, everybody just wants to feel heard, seen, and important. And if you go into conversations knowing that shit, you're taking control of the conversation. And you don't even have to fucking say that much. You just let people spill. You know what I'm saying? And now you're like somebody they can confide in. Now you're somebody they can trust. Like, and not to even say that's like some manipulative shit, but that's just the nature of conversation. Like, the more somebody can feel comfortable in expressing to you, it just puts you in a different place. Because it always gets fucked up when the other person feels like they have to interject or fucking disagree, like abrupt, like aggressively kind of. And then that's where like problems come in. Because you can disagree with somebody kindly, and really that gets you further. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you gotta disagree, be like, nah, I kind of don't see like that. But you don't have to elaborate on why you disagree. You know what I'm saying? Because a conversation is not just two people just agreeing with each other. Like, if you disagree with somebody and they make it into an argument, like I said, that's a problematic person. You just got to understand they're speaking for themselves. And the more you allow them to, and the more you show interest in what they have going on, And the less you speak and the less you fill up those little silent gaps that just naturally come up in conversations, the more that you have, like, just the more power you have in this conversation. Because they think that, you know what I'm saying? They're just talking and you're just kind of just take a step back, like mentally or like from outside of it, you know what I'm saying? And you can just react to what these people are saying. You can decide whether, like, oh, they like when I ask them about themselves, or like, oh, when I don't fill up the silence, they move to some other shit because they just wanted to fucking talk about some shit. And then they might even ask you about your shit, and that's like that other person has some awareness of conversation as well. That's how you can tell if they're just constantly, you know what I'm saying? Like if they're constantly checking back in with you, you can assume that you're a good conversationalist. But if they're not doing that, that's kind of your opportunity to take control of this conversation by letting them just spill and fill in the blanks and fucking switch the topics. And you can just kind of tell that just the more you communicate with people in general. That's why I made a video. It was called like top 3 skills to build, like just as a person. And number 2 is communication. And you just can't get good at this shit without just doing it with every single type of person. Goddamn the cashier, goddamn the coworker, the fucking waiter, the bartender. Like just talk to people, and everything I'm saying will be like, it'll just make more sense to you. For real, because a lot of people think that you can get somewhere in a conversation by just agreeing and dick sucking and fucking, like, you know what I'm saying? Just being so agreeable, but that doesn't really give you control or power. It just makes you like a mirror, and now y'all are both just fucking just stare, you know what I'm saying? Versus you always kind of want to have some sort of up on any situation, just because that's how you fucking just stay ahead of most shit. Feel me? But yeah, just listen, let people talk. They want to talk for themselves, bro. Let them fill in the gaps. If you can tell that they want to be asked more, ask them more. And some people would say it's manipulation, but I think that's just having like a emotional intelligence or social intelligence, to be honest. Because humans are simple, bro. And there's just a bunch of them in different fucking skins. And the sooner you realize that, you don't have to treat everybody so fucking differently. For real. There is special like outliers and shit that you'll come across, but there's way less of those than there is fucking people that you can just engineer shit with. And it's fucked up for real, but it starts with a conversation. And it starts with letting them talk more than you're talking. And that's just fucking conversation, bro. That's just emotional intelligence. That's really just like having manners, for real. And all that shit can kind of get construed together, like manners, manipulation, fucking social intelligence, fucking shit like that. It just depends on your perspective of the shit, bro. For real. Like all the videos I made, like on some fucking social shit, it's really just having awareness and when it's your turn to speak and when it's not, or who you should speak to about what. But it all starts with the conversation part and realizing that you can take control or gain perspective from this conversation if you just let the other person talk more. And you can see where they sit, but you just never want to be fucking like this, honestly. It's just not a good spot to be in. Unless like, it's kind of like playing the fool, for real. Just let this person fucking talk. It seems like, damn, this person don't want to talk, but I'm gonna keep talking about myself, and you just gain that knowledge, you feel me? But yeah. That's just a fucking like, a thought I had today when I was having this phone interview, and this person, I thought it was supposed to be an interview for me, but ended up this person just kept spilling, and I think it just helped my position. Because I was like, oh, she just wants to talk about herself, so fuck it. When she asks me some shit, I'll interject, for me. Because that's when it's my turn. And don't interrupt people, bro. And if you do, apologize for it. Because people don't do that. And it'll just make you look more fucking like you're adept, aware, fucking. Feel me? The power of conversation, bro. I'm gonna just do part one. This is part one to these, because I just be realizing shit in random spurts, bro. But if you know, you've been on this channel, you know I'm getting thumbnail now. Feel me? Thumbnail. Yeah. Practice conversation, bro. Talk to people. Let them people talk, bro.